Hello everybody. The power head on our central vac system is not working. So let me just walk you through the troubleshooting tips which would apply generally to any central vac system. The first thing I do is want to make sure the brush head, power head is working. So all I did was I applied carefully 120 volts to these two prongs. And by the way, if you don't know what you're doing, don't even attempt this. I don't take any responsibility if you hurt yourself or hurt somebody else because you don't have the skill or the knowledge to do this safely. But I have a set of test leads and I applied 120 volts to these two pins and the power head works. So that means I need to start looking at either the hose or the vac head or the power inlet. So I guess the first thing to do is to look at the power inlet, see what's going on there. And interestingly enough, you see right here, this is the plug where the power goes into. It's all out of place. It's all broken. So first thing I need to do is fix that. But I also went and plugged it into another outlet, and it doesn't work there, an outlet that's not damaged. And it doesn't seem to be working there either. So I need to dig into this a little further, and I suspect perhaps it's in the hose itself. Well, before I dig into the hose, let me just show you what's going on with the valve. Here's the power, and be very careful here again. Here's the power for the 115 volts that supplies power to the power head or the power brush. And you can see right here that the clips holding this plug are broken. This is probably from rough use or plugging it in and out. It's just worn out, so I'll replace this. But you can see that these clips right here have spread apart, which is why this plug is no longer in the proper place. Okay, now that I have the vac inlet repaired, next thing to do is to look at both ends of the hose to see if there are any visible signs of a break. Now before you disassemble this, make note of the position of this plug, how far it protrudes, both the male and the female on the other end. Because when you put it back together again, there are different locations you can put that plug. So make sure you sort of have a rough idea on what the correct spacing is, how far out that plug protrudes. In my case, I opened up this end, didn't see any visible wire breaks, and went to the other end as well. I have a 30-foot hose or 30-some foot hose with a sock on it. And on this end, I've got it disassembled right now, but did not find any visible breaks on this end either. So the next step is where the real magic occurs and where I'm really going to give you an important tip. In order to find the break in the line, and in this particular case, there's the low voltage 24 volt connection, those two brass tabs, and the high voltage 120 volt connection is across these two prongs. As I said earlier, I've determined that the power head works. It's not working because there's no voltage to it. So that means that somewhere between this point here, because I have voltage here, somewhere between here and the other end of the hose, I've got a break in the line. So the tool you need to really do this is a non-contact voltage detector. You can go to your big box store and you can buy one of these with tax for a little more than 20 bucks. Or if you're patient and you're willing to wait a couple of weeks, you can buy one of these online from AliExpress. I paid less than $1.50 delivered. I will put a link below when I get a chance. And additionally, I also got a rebate, a cash rebate from Top Cash Back. I think it was generally about 6%. And if you're not a member of Top Cash Back, I'll also put a link below. But essentially the way Top Cash Back works is you log into Top Cash Back into your account and then you enter the website you want to go to. Participating websites include eBay, Lowe's, Walmart, Advance Auto. So there are a lot of different merchants who participate in Top Cash Back. And so you go into your cashback account, open it up, log in, and then go to whatever website it is that you want to purchase something. So in my case, this was AliExpress. Top Cashback keeps track of your transaction and gives you a cash rebate. So in this case, I got another 6% off, I think. So for well less than $1.50, you can buy one of these non-contact voltage detectors. And let me show you how they work. There's 120 volts here at this plug, so all I do is put it close, and you see I get a beep that says there's power there. So, let me see if I can hold the camera and put this in. I'm going to plug in my vac hose. So my vac hose is in, and I have voltage there. And as you know, the wire, the 120 volt wire, runs down your hose all the way to the other end. So using my non-contact tester, I can run down the hose and see that I have voltage still. I don't have voltage at every coil because the wire runs around, but I can go all the way down. So I work my way down the hose. I still have voltage there, still have voltage here, still have voltage here. I'm about 10 feet down the hose now. Still have voltage there. I'm just going to skip the sock part and then just run all the way out to the end. Let's see if I still have voltage down here. I do. I'm a foot away from the end of the hose and I still have voltage. I still have voltage. I still have voltage. I still have voltage. No voltage. No voltage in the last 6 inches. And if I look really closely at my hose, I can see that it's been crushed right here. You can see it's been compressed. Maybe somebody stepped on it. But somewhere between here onward is where the break is. Fortunately, the break wasn't in the middle of the hose, so I'm essentially going to be able to salvage this hose. I'm going to cut off about 6 inches, maybe a little more, and get all new fresh wires and rewire reconnect the 4 wires that are there. Again, pay particular attention to the positioning of this plug. This is the female plug with respect to the end of the hose or the handle. But it's going to be that simple. I got really lucky here that I'm only going to sacrifice less than a foot of hose on this 30-some foot length. But that's how you find where the break is. There you have it. That's how you fix it. I was just getting ready to cut the hose, and I've got the other end still plugged in. So there's a warning for you. Somewhere back in here, there's 120 volts. I was going to cut it in a good section. So just make sure you pay attention to what you're doing. Be really careful. Make sure everything's unplugged before you start cutting away. That way you'll be safe. If you found this video at all helpful, I would really appreciate you subscribing. That's really the only way I know that these videos are worth producing. I get a lot of hits, a lot of people are watching them, but unless you subscribe, I don't really know that it's very valuable to you. So really appreciate your subscription. Be safe. This is not a repair for the amateur. So make sure you know what you're doing so that you don't hurt yourself or hurt somebody else or burn your house down. I've completed my repairs. It's all plugged in. And let me show you. There's the vacuum. There's the power brush. So there you have it. I've saved myself somewhere between mid $100 to $200. I think a new hose is probably in the $150 to $180 range, depending on the quality you get for a 30+ foot hose. And all I've done is shortened my existing hose by about 8 inches or so. And we'll see if we can get another 16 years use out of it. This hose was 16 years old. That's the first repair I've ever made on it.